And here we go.
This is the Mike and Brian Show. Heard every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's sports, we're throwing it down. And did we mention we happen to like the Buffalo Bills just a little bit? If it's happening in Buffalo sports, we're talking about it. This is the Mike and Brian Show. And here's Mike and Brian.
And here we go.
This is the Mike and Brian Show. Heard every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's sports, we're throwing it down. And did we mention we happen to like the Buffalo Bills just a little bit? If it's happening in Buffalo sports, we're talking about it. This is the Mike and Brian Show. And here's Mike and Brian.
And here we go.
This is the Mike and Brian Show. Heard every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's sports, we're throwing it down. And did we mention we happen to like the Buffalo Bills just a little bit? If it's happening in Buffalo sports, we're talking about it. This is the Mike and Brian Show. And here's Mike and Brian.
What's up, guys? Let me pull Brian up here. Make sure you unmute himself real quick. And you guys should hear him perfectly loud and clear.
How we doing tonight, guys? What's going on?
Yeah, how you guys all doing tonight? Hope you guys are all doing well.
Hope we're doing good.
This is the 5th episode of the Mike and Brian Show here. It's a very lovely day, Saturday night here. And I hope everybody's doing well.
Happy to come to you guys live at a little bit later of our normal time than 7 p.m., 7:30, where we like to be a little shabby late. But it's all right. We're here now. We're here to talk some sports, talk a little fantasy football with you guys. Not too much has really gone on in the last week and a half, so we don't want to sit here and drill your brains with the same stuff we've talked about in the other episodes. That's where you could go on our YouTube page or our Facebook page, The Mike and Brian Show, and you could always go back and look at the content that we've talked about already. So we're not going to drill that into your head. We're going to get into some fantasy football rankings today. Me and Mike both took some time. We ranked our fantasy football by we ranked it by best available, top 50. And then we also ranked all the positions, so quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense, which is found mostly in everyone's base, fantasy league. We do our drafting PPR style, just so everyone knows what we're basing our picks off of and what our projections off of. Me and Mike play PPR fantasy football because we feel like that's just the best quality type of football. That's what all the experts do. So we highly recommend you do it as well. Mike, you got anything to say about it?
Yeah, I just want to say, Chris Baker, thank you for following the stream. Just put it out there. And then, honestly, I just want to say that I'm going to put it out there. I know Brian didn't say it. I'm just going to put it out there right away. We are starting our own fantasy league for the thing. I'm going to put a link in eventually into the chat. There's going to be 8 spots left. You can join. You can face me and Brian in the fantasy league all year. But yeah, I'm fantasy football, man. It's a great. I feel like a lot of people do it. It's a great thing, I feel like a lot of people do get interested in football and other teams in football. If you haven't, done a league before and you maybe want to join a league for free in our league, you're more than welcome to. We will be sending out.
Yeah, this league's not going to be any charge to anyone. We're just mostly doing this to give you a little pre-actual fantasy football season knowledge, give you a little inside look on how some people might draft who are in your fantasy leagues. We're obviously planning to do the draft long before football even gets announced that it's playing in September. We're going to do this draft probably within the next week or so. So just to get everyone, a dip into the fantasy football, really to get their feet wet, get us started in the 2020 season.
No, definitely, man, definitely. And we're like I said, we'll post that link throughout the night. I might throw it in there right now if Brian wants to, get started. I'm gonna throw the link in there for you guys if you want to do it. Brian, you want to get started on some things that we were to? You want to get started on the quarterbacks? You maybe go through your top 5 or something.
Yeah. We could start with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks is a good place to start.
Or do you want to go with kickers, man? I mean, hey, we can start at the boring stuff if you want.
You know what? I'm gonna start with defenses.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, it's fine.
So I'm gonna tell you guys my defensive rankings here. Now I base a lot of my defensive rankings off of last season, of course. I mean, defense, I know it changes from year to year, but you look for a lot of consistency in defenses like that have defensive-minded coaches, stuff like that. The Bills, for example, Sean McDermott, strong defense. Wesley Frazier has an amazing defense. I'm surprised he's still not a head coach again. Anyway, but there's other teams like the Baltimore has a big defense. San Francisco. So just look for those teams where the coach has a great defensive scheme and he really puts his superstar defensive players in the best position to impact the game. So with that being said, I'll start off with so what do we do in defense, Mike? Did you do 5 or 10?
I did 10.
Okay, I'll start at 10. The number 10th defense I have ranked is Denver's defense. I have Denver ranked at 10. You cannot look past the fact that Von Miller is on Denver still. He is probably the best defensive player in the league still. He's very dominant. They got a whole bunch of names on that defense, whole bunch of young guys.
Okay.
Even last year with the struggling offense, their defense still put out good numbers, good defensive numbers. They averaged last year. They averaged in the top 12. They didn't fall below 12th overall in defense. So that's why I had to slide them in there in 10 for me. So at number 9, I have the Tennessee defense. I have Tennessee at 9 because of Coach Mike Grable. There's not really any known hot commodities in the Tennessee defense. They're known to have a strong secondary, much like the Buffalo Bills, strong defensive backs and safeties on the back end. But they're really a system that works as one on a whole. They don't allow a lot of total yards. I believe what do I have here? Yeah, they held teams under 320 offensive yards each game last year, which is pretty good. That's just about a little bit above average, but I think they're going to make a little bit of a jump from last year.
Okay.
So coming in at 8, I have the Minnesota defense. Minnesota's defense has a very good front four, and like I said again, goes back to their head coach, Mike Zimmer, points right directly to him. Defensive-minded coach who doesn't ever seem to let his defense fall out of the top 10 year in and year out. So count on them to have lots of sacks, turnovers, maybe a few special teams points in here and there. Number 7. So a lot of people may not agree because they did rank number 1 last year, but I have New England at number 7.
Okay.
The reason I have New England at number 7 is Bill Belichick and their secondary. They still have Stephon Gilmore. They still have McCourty. They're really solid on the back end, and obviously they're the best coached football team in the whole NFL.
Okay.
I won't dive too much into the Patriots.
All right, go to let's. When I just want to say go to 5 and then or 6 and stop at 6. We'll go 6 and I'll go to my 6 and then we'll go top 5.
Okay. At number 6, I have the New Orleans defense.
Okay.
New Orleans defense is looked past a lot due to their high-powered offense, of course, with Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, such and such. But there's a dude named Cam Jordan on the New Orleans defense, and he just got named to the All-Decade NFL defensive team because he's a monster, and he gets sacks, sacks, sacks. Look for the Saints to get a lot of sacks, maybe even a lot of turnovers. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be the team that doesn't let a lot of points against, but they will have the solid fantasy numbers that you need them to have. Mike, why don't you go ahead and give your 10 to 6 there, and then we'll both
All right,
run through our
sounds
top
good.
5.
All right, so my 10 is New England. I don't. I mean, I just don't. I think they're gonna get a lot of points. A lot of points are just gonna get scored on. They're gonna be in tough situations a lot. I don't think that helping with a rookie quarterback, or not really rookie per se, but like second year
I know what you're
quarterback.
saying.
I mean, I just don't. I know. I understand Bill Belichick. He's a genius, but I'll still put him there at 10. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
say number 9. I'm gonna put Kansas City. I think they're gonna have a good year. I think their
All right.
defense is gonna improve a little bit. I think they did a couple things to improve their defense, in the offseason. So I could see them improving a lot.
Okay, I like it.
At number 8, I have the LA Rams.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
Aaron Donald, you gotta always put him in there, man. I mean, he's
If I did a top 20, I know we only did 10, but I had them in at 11. They just missed my top 10. So I hear you. I hear you on that.
So I mean, honestly, after that, I would have to go with Minnesota. I think
Okay.
Minnesota is just a good defense every year. Like I said, they have good coaching. They know what they're doing on defense. They have good players, good special teams, good D line. Their D line is all like that. That's just they have everything pretty much good. They have good rotation, all that stuff like that. And then
Okay.
at number 6 as well, I'm gonna have to put the Saints up there. I put the Saints at number 6.
Okay.
So
I like it. I like it. All right. Why don't you go ahead, dive into your top 5?
okay, so I have a little. I'm gonna give you a little bit more inside my top 5. Pittsburgh. I mean, it's people probably don't know why I have Pittsburgh in the top 5. I just feel like Mike Tomlin is just a great coach, man. Like every year, he finds a way to almost push him in there or push him this way or do this and that. And I just think that
All right.
I feel like he's just good, and I think their defense has improved. They did a couple good draft picks that they picked this year. And
I like it.
I see a little bit of improvement this year. I honestly do think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to make the playoffs this year.
I like it. I like it. Go ahead, number 4.
Number 4, I'm going to have to say the Buffalo Bills. I have the Bills at
Alright.
number 4. I do think that they are. I was going to put them in the top 3. I just couldn't do it to myself. But the 3 people that I have above them are very, very, very good defenses, and I think that the Bills could get up there, stats wise. But just on paper, I just don't see the Bills being as good as these 3 teams.
All right.
And then
Okay.
number 3, I have San Fran.
Okay.
They're excellent team. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl. I mean, you can't complain there, man. They got great. I mean, they did lose one player, but I don't think losing that guy. I think that just makes more rotation for other players and more opportunities for younger players that actually haven't got the time and that they deserve. And then
Okay.
number 2, I have Baltimore. Just,
All right.
they're always a good team, man. I feel like they're not gonna be on the field a lot. I feel like Jackson's gonna run the clock down doing his running thing, and they're gonna do that running game, whatever. So
Okay.
and at number 1, I'm gonna have the Chicago Bears. I just think that they have always been ranked number 1 for the last 3 years. They're one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think they're gonna continue to be one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Okay. There's a guy named Khalil Mack on that team, so I don't know if I agree with one, but I'd have to agree with the top 5. So at number 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens were ranked in the top 3 last year in defense. I do see them taking a minor step back, as much as 5 is still very good, and every other team in the NFL probably wishes they could guarantee a top 5 defense. But I do think they take a step back, and Marlon Humphreys played on an elite level last year. I would be surprised to see him play at that level of play again. And then like I said, John Harbaugh, they just well coached. They got the same system for many years, and it's really implanted into their own process. So at number 4, I have the Chicago Bears. So I'd have to agree with you with Khalil Mack on the Chicago Bears, and that is to be honest, one of the sole reasons I put them in the top 5 because Khalil Mack is what you call a game wrecker, and he can take over at any point in time, any given Sunday, and I will never count that man out.
I feel you.
At number 3, I have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going to have a very good defense again this year. They traded that first-round pick for Mika Fitzpatrick. They got a guy named T.J. Watt on their team who happens to be a brother of someone named J.J. Watt. Yeah. So that guy, he's pretty good over there. Yeah. They got some good linebackers, Bud Dupree and Mike Tomlin. He's just been around, one of the best coaches in the entire NFL. At number 2, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
I put the 49ers at number 2 because of their dominance last year. People like Joey Bosa. People will forget. The one reason I did step them down from 1 to 2 is due to the loss of DeForest Buckner. They lost a huge part of their defense in the middle, and I will like to see them recover from that this year and see if they can stay on that elite level.
I think they will be able to. I do think they will be able to.
Yeah, you got to think, though, DeForest Buckner had an all-pro season last year, man. Like, they're going to need that performance from one or maybe 2 other guys. Who knows? We'll see what they do.
Yep, for sure.
And then number 1, baby, the Buffalo Bills. Okay. That's right, baby.
I knew it. I didn't hear him, and I was going to say, I figured he was putting him at number 1.
The reason I have the Buffalo Bills at number 1, I'll give you right now. Tremaine Edmonds, Trey White, Matt Milano, Sean McDermott, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. That's why. That's all you need to know. Leslie Frazier, Buffalo Bills, baby. Number 1 defense this year. Count on it.
All right, we have a little comment coming in from Casillo in the crowd. He says, Sleeper D, Chiefs. Okay.
Mike did have his Chiefs in the top 10.
So if you've seen that, my Chiefs in the top 10, and I do agree with you on that. I do think the Chiefs.
Mike did have them in there.
I had him at 9. I had him at 9. So if you guys didn't see, I actually had him at 9. So.
All right, Mike. Let's not bore people
over here. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go to the nuts though. Let's go to the quarterbacks. Let's go to quarterbacks.
No. All right. We can dive into quarterbacks.
We can dive into the quarterbacks. Come on. All right. So we're gonna go. What do you want to do?
First off, before we give our top 10 that we're gonna give, just for me, really quick, I don't know if you've got one or if you could think of one off the top of your head. Give me a quarterback sleeper for this year.
Quarterback sleeper for this year, probably not a lot of people are honestly gonna be thinking this person, but it's I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it, bro. It's gonna probably be Tyrod Taylor, quarterback sleeper this year.
You scumbag. You stole my sleeper. I can't believe that. My sleeper is also Tyrod Taylor.
All right. I'm just saying.
Me and Mike did not have this conversation before, everyone.
He just asked me that randomly. I didn't even write one down. He said the quarterback sleeper, and I said Tyrod Taylor, just thinking in my head, like, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So, guys, write that down right there. That's going to probably come true right there. Mike and Brian said it together right away. So, I mean, hey.
I wrote a little side note in here. I got him for 7+ rushing touchdowns this year. Watch.
Ty says, ew. You don't think? Okay, Ty. Ty, since you're sitting there, let me.
Ty doesn't like it.
All right, give me your quarterback sleeper, Ty. Let's hear it. Drew Lock. Ty says. Write that down.
Right.
Write it down. Write it down right now, Brian, on your sheet. Tyler Casillo. Drew Lock.
I'll circle it here. Drew Lock.
Tyler Casillo, Drew Lock over here. And guys, if you guys are anybody new in here, you haven't that follow button, you haven't that like button, you should do it right now. Just slap it, hit it with your toe, hit it with your nose, wink at it, then hit it with your thumb, hit it with your pinky. I don't care what you hit it with, just do it. But no, I feel you with the Drew Lock though, Ty. That's a good one. That's honestly that's a good one.
I could see it, Ty. I could see it. I agree with your point, but I kind of went for someone who people are still like not even really projecting fully to be the starter. He's not guaranteed the starting job right now. As much as Anthony Lynn has said, Tyrod Taylor's our quarterback going into the season. They drafted Justin Herbert. Like, let's just be honest. Tyrod Taylor's going to have to perform to stay on the field. And he's going to have to play like Tyrod Taylor played in Buffalo to stay on the field and not get injured. That was his only fault here.
No,
He got
100%. 100%. I definitely 100% agree with you.
All right,
said-
Mike, go ahead. Dive into your top 10. I started from 10 from the bottom last time. Why don't you start from 10 to the
We're
bottom?
gonna. How about 15? If you go top 15?
15?
Yeah, top
15 's good
15.
with me.
All right,
15 's
top
good.
15. So I have. I'm gonna throw a little. I have a couple guys. I've honestly these 4 guys could be from 15 to 18. Any of these 4 guys. So I have Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, and Big Ben. All 3 of those guys, like I feel like you could throw any of those in the top 15 to 15. I wrote them under there just those are you got. I mean, it could go either way. Like somebody might like this guy more than somebody else. Like Baker Mayfield. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that he deserves to be in there. In there, definitely there. I think it could be an interchangeable thing for those 4 guys right there. And then at 14, I have Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
I think that he had a good year last year. I think his running game is going to stay, just as good as it was last year. Derrick Henry is an amazing back. He has, receivers. I think they actually did draft a receiver in the draft this year. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I do like Corey Davis. I mean, he hasn't performed like he should, and they got a good tight end there as well in there. I just feel like their offense in general.
They have
just like,
Hollywood Brown, too.
yeah,
man.
yeah, Antonio Brown. Yeah, that's what yeah, Brown. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. That was the one that was who I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel like, but the one thing they're best thing about their thing, bro, they have the best. I think they're gonna have the best running game in the NFL this year. I think Derrick Henry is gonna.
Again?
Yeah, I think Derrick Henry is gonna do it again. I really do.
He's going back-to-back rushing titles?
Yep, I really do.
All right.
I really do.
What are you on now, 13?
Yeah, 13. I have Matt Stafford.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have much to say about him. I just think he can be.
Touchdown.
Yeah,
Touchdown.
it's really all it is. He just gives you
Passing
touchdowns,
touchdown.
and he's
Yards.
he's really honestly he's consistently can give you 2 touchdowns and like 300 yards a week easily.
Exactly.
And
That's
I mean
a solid 18 points.
exactly.
Right there.
And I mean honestly after that I have Carson Wentz. I mean hopefully he stays healthy. He's a good quarterback. I think he deserves to be in that top 15. Then
That's a 12, right?
Yep. And then I'm gonna go to 11. And at 11
Okay.
I have Matt Ryan.
All right. Okay. All right.
Those are just, I mean, you don't have much to say about Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford. They are just guys that, they're going to get a lot of yards. They're going to get a lot of touchdowns. Like, that's just what they do. That's just how they always have been. They're good fantasy quarterbacks. They always go in, later in the rounds. But if you get them there and you wait, you get a good quarterback.
Okay. All right. I'll dive right into it. I guess I'll give my best contestants for top 15 before I give 15. So who I had sliding in at 16, I really wanted to put him into my top 15, but something in me couldn't because I have someone else in my top 10 that I want there, that needs to be there. So we'll count this spot. 16, I had Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill got the contract. Sean Payton is going to want to see him play quarterback. And I believe he's going to be more part of that offense more than ever now. And I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so at 15, I had Baker Mayfield coming in at 15. Last year, Baker Mayfield was probably the biggest letdown of the whole fantasy football season. He was a very high-touted first-round pick last year, projected to put up these numbers with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm going to get off my Baker high horse this year, and I'm going to slide him down to 15. 14, I have Matt Stafford coming in solely because of the touchdowns and the yards. There's not really much more to say other than that. I mean, we'll see what the Lions can be this year, but I don't see them winning more than 6 games at most. 13, what am I at? 13? I had Aaron Rodgers coming in at 13.
Damn, you have him pretty low, bud.
I have Rodgers at 13 solely because of the running game last year and Aaron Jones 19 touchdowns. So I do think you're going to see a little less and less relying on Rodgers and more of the whole team winning, because I just feel like that's the way Matt LaFleur coaches. Okay. So at number 12, I have Carson Wentz. Our 15 look much alike here. I can kind of tell that. I do also have the thought up in the air about Carson Wentz's health. So as long as he can stay healthy, crud, I might even put him in my top 6 if he can stay healthy because he's proven to us what he's capable of. All right. At number I'm at 11, right?
Yep.
11. 11. I have Joe Burrow. The reason I put Joe Burrow on number 11 is because of the way you look back at these rookie quarterbacks and the how should I say this inflated numbers they're putting up their first seasons. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, RG3, Kirk Cousins. Just some examples, just guys who really, not that that's their peak in the NFL, but that first year, something just really clicks, either that they're new to the league, they're new to these coaches, something clicks. So I got Joe Burrow in there at 11. And then at number 10, I have Drew Brees. And Drew Brees at number 10, I had to slide him so low because of my thought of Taysom Hill's development and fantasy odds this year. So Drew Brees at number 10.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna run through I'm gonna go through 10 through 5. Or do you want to? I'll just do 10 through 1, and then you'll go through 10 through.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So I have Aaron Rodgers at 10. I think he should be a little higher, man. I've seen you had him a little lower. I understand why you had him there, but I just feel like, man, he's a touchdown genius. He gets a lot of yards. He's probably a top 10 quarterback usually every year, guaranteed. I actually have number 9, Brady. I have Brady at number 9. I think he, has he's gonna get the yardage that you want to see this year. He's gonna get the touchdowns. Like you can't show like those receivers, bro, that he has, and the tight end. He's got. I mean, he doesn't have a running back, but like, did he have a running back in New England? I mean, James White and they kind of like Rex. It was as a trio. So I think they're gonna be using a lot of their running backs differently in Buccaneers this year, and I think that.
What number did you have Brady at?
Number 9.
Okay, I like it.
And then I have Drew Brees at 8. I think Drew Brees is gonna have a phenomenal year again this year. I think that Sean Payton like I said, maybe Drew Brees somehow gets hurt, something happens to him this year. I mean, you could see, like you said, Taysom Hill.
I'll say that.
But I mean, hey, that's if you want Taysom Hill to be like you said, it could happen. I mean, he's old, he gets hurt, maybe you see Taysom Hill come in there, like a possibility. At 7, I have Deshaun Watson. I do think that he is going to decline because of the trade, but I do think that it's still going to be yardage wise good for him. I think he's going to have touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. I think
he's going to get the rushing touchdowns.
He's going to get the points that you need him to get. He's probably going to be a 15 to 20 point quarterback. I mean,
that'd be a great dude. Think about scooping up that Panini rookie.
Woo. Yeah, right.
Deshaun Watson rookie, man, that's gotta be worth a lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Kyler Murray at 6. I think he's gonna improve a lot this year. I think he got Deshaun Hopkins. I think he just jumps up high and really performs this year. I think he's gonna get him a lot more rushing touchdowns this year. I mean, he did lose his running back, but they have kind of Jake, bro. Like he didn't really lose anybody. I think Drake was the running back at the end of the year, anyways. In my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
he did really well last year.
So, and then at 5, I have Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to be the top 5 quarterback this year in fantasy. I mean, I think he's going to have rushing yards like he did last year. He's going to have the touchdowns like he did last year. He's going to have a lot more yards this year and passing touchdowns due to Stephon Diggs. And I think Dawson Knox is going to have a good year this year. And then and I'm going to run through my top 4 because these are quarterbacks that we all knew they were going to be in top 4. I have Prescott at 4. I have Russell Wilson at 3. Patrick Mahomes at 2. And the number 1 quarterback I have for this year, Lamar Jackson, baby. I think he is going to do it again. Do it again, baby.
All right. Enough with you with that. Let me run through. All right. I'm on number 10, right? 10. All right. At number 10, I have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's weapons have gotten scarier in Tampa Bay, and that's all I will say. I'm very familiar with a man named Mike Evans and Chris Godwin down there in Tampa Bay, and I think they're going to put up numbers. But anyway, number 9. Number 9 was a little different for me. I did slide Deshaun Watson down to number 9. The reason I slid Deshaun Watson down to number 9, of course, was the DeAndre Hopkins trade. And the Bill O'Brien, is it real or is it not feud that's going on? So that's where I had Deshaun Watson, number 9. At number 8, I had Matt Ryan. Yep, Matt Ryan. I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. Matt Ryan coming in at number 8. You know, you can't count out Matt Ryan with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and those weapons down there in Atlanta. They're monsters. They're animals. That's all I'll say about them. 6, right? It's number 6.
Yep.
6, Josh Allen.
Okay.
I have Josh Allen coming in at number 6. I wanted to put him in my top 5. I did. I really did. I love the kid. I love Josh Allen, but I got to see him take the step as far as yardage and completion, number of completions. Not so much completion percentage. I think I'm okay. I want it to be better, but I think I'm okay with his completion percentage. I just want to see a higher volume, you know, and if that calls for more passing plays, so be it. Okay. So at number 5, I had Dak Prescott.
Okay.
I do think Dak is going to take a little step back from his 4,990-yard season last year. Did he have 5,000 or was he just short? He was just short of 5,000.
I think it was just short of 5,000. I think he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's got some, obviously, weapons with Zeke Elliott and Mari Cooper and now CeeDee Lamb down there in Dallas. They're going to be really good. So
I agree.
Look for Dak Prescott. Number. What number? I'm sorry. I didn't
4.
number these, so I keep losing it. I'm sorry. Russell Wilson. I had coming in at number 4. I'll never count out Russell Wilson because he plays at an MVP caliber level at all times. And that's all I'm going to say. Number 3, I had Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, I believe, is going to take a huge step forward with Cliff Kingsbury. And he stole... I would have Deshaun Watson at number 3 if he had DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, so the reason that you have a number 3 is because of the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. Okay.
Yes, and like you also said, the evolution of Kenyon Drake in that offense in the last 7 games of the season. I think he had like 16 touchdowns in like the last 8 games or something like that. He went off, dude. Like off. And then at number 2, I have Lamar Jackson. Take a step down, buddy. You're not going to score as many rushing touchdowns. You're not going to have as many rushing yards. Still going to be an offensive phenom, though. Not going to say he's not. And then number 1, I have Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the guy who continuously sets the touchdown record in the season. So he's going to have lots of yards. He's going to have lots of passing touchdowns. He's got the most weapons in the whole league. They got the Legion of Speed over there. They're just speed demons, track guys, and Travis Kelce. So look for Patrick Mahomes to probably be your MVP again this year.
Wow.
Yes, I said it. MVP.
All right, I'm writing it down. MVP, Brian said it. P. Holmes.
All right, we're going to jump right into running backs, Mike. Get some fun going for everyone.
Let's get it going. Let's get the running backs going here, honestly. Let's get it going. I appreciate the like, whoever that was. I appreciate it, guys. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button. I don't know if you guys seen earlier, we are starting a league. I don't know if the link is working in the chat, so I think I'm going to have to post it on after this show. We're going to post a post. And the first 8 people to join the league will be able to play with us in the Fantasy League football this year. It is called the Mike and Brian League. Hopefully you guys are getting into that. Appreciate everybody that's staying tuned today. Let's get right into it. You wanna? Let's do. I say what do you think? Top 20, top 15, top 30. I have top 30 running backs.
Let's do it just real quick, just because I don't know if it's for you the same way, but a lot of these guys in the top 10 and 15 fall in my top 50 best available. So I think we should just maybe just run through these real quick and give our names of top 15, and then we'll dive into the actual player a little more once we get into the overall.
Okay. All right, so I'll do top 15. So
Yep.
I'm not gonna. We'll say I'll just run through it real quick. I'm not gonna, explain. I'll just do I'll do all the way through up. Sound
Okay.
good? All right.
Yep.
All right. So here we go. Appreciate that. Was that was a share? I don't know. I got something in my ear. Someone's getting a notification. My bad. Just I heard it in my ear. Okay, so we're gonna go 15. I probably, you guys, surprisingly, I actually do have Todd Gurley at 15. I do think he's gonna have a good year this year. I do think that they gave him a little resting period. His knees, and appreciate the share, Dad. His knees and everything is gonna be good. I do think they're gonna rotate a little bit more here, so I do think that's gonna help a lot.
Okay.
I got Austin Eckler 14. I think he's gonna improve a lot. I think that it's gonna be very important for him to see what happens with Justin Jackson. That's the one thing I don't know with him. I mean, Justin Jackson, I do see be having a good year this year. I do see maybe possibly seeing him take over the starting role by the end of the year from Austin Eckler. He's a very good back. It could possibly happen, and I do see that they use two backs usually in the Chargers. So we'll see what happens with that.
I like it.
13, I got Miles Sanders.
All right.
I have 12. I have Kenyon Drake. I do think that he could possibly get up higher. I have him there for now because I do think there's a lot of running backs that are very good in the top 10 that you can't go by. Number 11, probably surprising with a lot of people probably don't know who this guy is. I would consider him one of my sleepers. Carl Edwards Halee, I think his name is, from Kansas City.
Hilaire. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire.
Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. He's going to be a good running back this year. I think he's going to have a lot of touches in Kansas City, and you're going to see him probably be the number one back by the end of the year. Mark it down. All right, mark it down on right there. And then, also, we got Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has always been a good running back for me. I think he's always going to be in the top 10.
Bubble guts.
So I think he's 10 for me. 9, Aaron Jones. 8,
All right.
Josh Jacobs. 7, Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna get into I'm at 6. I have Delvin Cook, and honestly, the top 5 people are probably gonna be weird. Why I have this one? I in the top 3. You're gonna be surprised with my third guys. 5th, I have 5. I have Kamara. 4, I have Elliott.
Okay.
3, I have Derrick Henry. Like I said, I think Derrick Henry is gonna definitely have a very most improved. Like I said, he's gonna keep his year up again this year. People are always sleeping on that man, bro. He's a beast. Runs through everything.
I hope Stupples is listening.
All right. Number 2, Barkley. And the number 1 running back, Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. All right. I'll just try and be as quick as I can running through my top 15. That way we can dive into them more and the best overall available players. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in a sleeper that most people may not agree with, but I'm going to put Jonathan Taylor, drafted by the Indianapolis Colts at number 15. I think he's going to get a lot of touches. I think Frank Reich drafted him for a reason, and he was a beast at Wisconsin. Wisconsin. So I look for Jonathan Taylor to be a good rookie coming in this year. At 14, I have Todd Gurley down there in Atlanta. Not sure how many touches he will actually see a game, but you got to think he's going to find the end zone. So Todd Gurley at 14. At 13, I had Austin Eckler. Eckler obviously has a large volume of catches. He still does get the rushing yards. I'd love to see if he's still going to get the large volume of catches with Tyrod Taylor at the helm. So we'll see how that goes. 12, right? 12. Miles Sanders, I have at 12. Miles Sanders is emerging in the Philadelphia offense. He had a little struggles with staying healthy last year, so look for him to be pretty solid week-to-week back next year. At number 11, I have Aaron Jones. I do have him taking a little step back from where he was last year at the most rushing touchdowns in the whole league, so take a step back there, buddy. At number 10, I have Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake obviously was a beast last year in like the last final 7 weeks of the season. Arizona did not make the playoffs, but he did play very, very well after he was traded from Miami.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. At number 9, I have Nick Chubb. I wanted to put Chubb higher, one because I'm a fantasy owner of Nick Chubb, but I do think that with Kevin Stefanski in, although it's much like a Dalvin Cook style, they do running back by committee there in Cleveland, so you'll see more than one guy getting the ball. At what am I at, number 7? At number 7, I had Chris Carson. A lot of people kind of forgot about Chris Carson because of the injury with like 4 weeks left in the season last year, and he wasn't really able to, show up for your fantasy team in the playoffs due to injuries. So Chris Carson there at number 7. I like him there. Number 6, I have Derrick Henry. I do have him taking a step down from being the rushing leader last year. I do still think he finds the end zone at least 15 times, though.
Okay.
Number 5, I have Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook also last year, high volume of touches. And his coach, Kevin Stefanski, is now in Cleveland, so we'll see if he gets the same volume of touches. Number 4, right? Yeah, number 4, I have Kamara. Kamara gets the receptions, and it took him a long time last year to find the end zone, but he finds the end zone. He will find the end zone this year. At number 3, I had Saquon Barkley. I put Saquon at number 3 solely due to his availability compared to the other 2 guys above him. At number 2, I have Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott, monster. I believe he wins the rushing title, most rushing yards, so Zeke Elliott. And then number 1, Christian McCaffrey.
There it is.
I don't think I really need to say why Christian McCaffrey's number 1. I think his 22 catches and like 65 fantasy points tell you enough.
I agree on that one right there 100%, but I do not agree with you on, I'm saying Derrick Henry's going to win the title again. I think that it's going to probably be somebody else, but I don't think that it's going to be Elliott. I think Elliott's there's too many weapons in that team, and I just think there's too many offensive, people in that team that have him, get the rushing title. It could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. And I just want to say, appreciate the like and how you doing that, Pat. I appreciate the follow. I've seen that. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate all that.
Guys.
Like I said, if you guys are new, hit that follow button, hit that like button. Go ahead and drop one right now. Hit it, slap it, hit it with your nose, hit it with your toe if you want. I don't care. Hit it. All right, we'll go right on we'll go top 15 receivers real quick for them.
Yeah, you want to do receivers now?
And then we'll go. We'll go tight ends. How about we'll go tight end, receiver, and then we'll do the overall.
Okay, tight end, receiver, overall.
Yep.
I like to on to that.
All right.
And what'd you do? Just top 10 for tight ends?
Yeah, top 10 tight ends is fine for me.
Okay. I'll go ahead. I'll start off.
All right, start it off. Go ahead.
At number 10, I have the man himself, the Gronk. I did put Gronk in my top 10. When I was writing this list, I couldn't help but write the name down. So, Gronk's in my top 10. I'll just leave it at that. Number 9, I have Austin Hooper. He had an amazing start to last season. He was killing it in the first 9 weeks. Unfortunately, suffered an injury that he was out for a long period of time in fantasy last year. So, look for Austin Hooper to have a bounce back, and especially with, like I was talking about before, Kevin Stefanski and the newly loaded Browns. Newly loaded. Number 9, I have Jared Cook, tight end of the New Orleans Saints. Last year, he had a large volume of catches. Drew Brees seems to like to find him down the middle of the field, and he found the end zone, I believe it was 9 times last year. So, yeah, look for Jared Cook to have a pretty good season next year. At number 8, I have Tyler Higbee of the Rams. He really emerged as a fantasy tight end last year towards the end of the season, so I'll just leave it at that. Number 7, I have Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is the tight end of the New York Giants. He also was injury plagued last year, but when he was on the field, he seems to find the end zone and put up a high volume of catches. So we'll see what he can do. At number 6, I have Hunter Henry. I had to drop Hunter Henry down to 6 solely because Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback now, and I just don't see him completing 28, 30 passes a game like Philip Rivers does. So unfortunately, that volume you'll see it suffered from places like the tight end and
Okay.
running back.
Okay.
But anyway, number 5, I had Mark Andrews. I do think Mark Andrews takes a step back this year. It was absolutely unbelievable what he was able to do last year. I couldn't believe the amount of touchdowns that guy was scoring. And next thing I knew, he was just wide open, right out in front of my face at Ralph Wilson Stadium, and that's all I'll leave it at. At number, what am I at? 4? Yeah, 4. I have Darren Waller, Las Vegas Raiders tight end.
Okay.
He had a really, really good season last year. I think John Gruden likes the kid a lot. I see him incorporating him in his offense and trying to get him a lot of targets.
Okay.
Number 3, I have Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles tight end. Obviously, if Carson Wentz can stay healthy, the Zach Ertz Carson Wentz connection is lethal.
Okay.
So, at number 2, I have George Kittle. George Kittle came in at number 2 solely because I believe his quarterback and his coach's play calling can be spotty. As we all can remember, there was a playoff game last year where Jimmy G threw 8 passes. So it was hard for me to put Kittle as my number 1 just solely due to the value. And then number 1, I have, of course, Travis Kelce, tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Nice. All right, so number 10 for me is probably a little surprising. I think this is a sleeper tight end for me. Dawson Knox, top 10 tight end this year.
I knew it.
Dawson Knox, baby.
I knew it.
He is going to tear it up. I knew it was going to happen. Sorry, guys, but it's going to happen. Top 10. Do you want a sleeper tight end? I'm saying he's going to be in the top 10. I'm not saying you have to draft him in the top 10. He's going to be a top 10 tight end. So that's where I think he's going to shouldn't be this year. Number 9, I got Jared Cook. At number 8, I have Hunter Henry. At number 7, I have Evan Ingram. Number 6, I got Darren Waller. And at number 5, I actually have Rob Gronkowski. I'd like to put him up there pretty high because I think that he's going to be back with Brady. I think he's going to have one more year run maybe here. Maybe they go pretty far in the NFC. I don't know if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, but they're definitely going to make the playoffs, and they're probably going to be, they're going to probably have to play in the wild card. I don't think they're going to win their division. So.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Zach Ertz. At number 3, I have Mark Andrews.
I like it.
At number 2, I have Craig Little. Okay. And at number 1, I have Travis Kelce.
All right.
Obviously with the number 1. And we're going to run through the receivers. Brian, I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick so you can keep this entertaining. I really have to do I'm sorry, I have to do it. So, 2 seconds.
Okay, guys. I'll keep us all entertained here. All right, guys. How's it going? Again, I'm Brian. That's Mike. This is the Mike and Brian Show, where we come live to you every Saturday night, roughly between 7 and 7:30 p.m. We're bringing you hot sports takes, fantasy football takes, fantasy football rankings, everything you can think of. Buffalo Bills, we're here to bring it to you. So let me just go through you guys really quick right here. I'm going to just give you my top 25 wide receivers. I'm just going to run through some names just to give you a thought of who I think is in there and who I like coming in this year. So 25, Deebo Samuel.
Wow.
24, Stephon Diggs. 23, T.Y. Hilton.
Okay.
22, Robert Woods. 21, Devontae Parker. 20, Calvin Ridley. 19, Cortland Sutton. 18, Cooper Kupp. 17, Tyler Lockett. 16, Keenan Allen.
Okay.
15, Adam Thielen. 14, A.J. Brown.
Okay.
13, Juju Smith-Schuster.
They may have moved a little bit higher than I did.
12, Odell Beckham Jr. 11, Terry McLaurin. 10, Amari Cooper.
All right, stop right there. I'm gonna go through mine, and we'll do your not top 10 after. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I had these. I know I was going for a second there, but here we go. So my top 25 we're going through right here, right? I know there's a lot of receivers. You guys know there's a lot of receivers. You don't have to usually draft receivers. If you like to go running backs, you can go to running backs in the beginning. Do not be afraid to do that in the draft. Do never ever be afraid. Always go best available, guys. I understand that you maybe sometimes be afraid to do certain things and draft certain players. No, always it's not a bad plan to draft 2 running backs right in the beginning. It's very smart. It's definitely not dumb. So if you want to do it, I mean, I tend to try to go best available, and sometimes running back is it's there, and he's the best available guy. You've got to do it. So all right, so my top 25, I have Devontae Parker at 25. At 24, I have AJ Green. I think AJ Green's gonna have a bounce back year this year. I don't know if I can put him up high because of what happened last year. He was hurt all year, so let's see if he can recover. I have Stephon Diggs at 23. I think he can be a better receiver than what he is at rank there, but I put him there because of certain reasons. We don't know how he's going to do with Josh Allen. Tyler Lockett, Robert Woods, DK Metcalf at 20. DK Metcalf is actually a good receiver that you could look for in the later rounds. I think he's a very, very good receiver this year. I think he's probably going to be Russell Wilson's number 1 target this year. I think he really improves, and you see a lot more touchdowns from him this year. So I think he's a good draft pick.
I like it.
Calvin Ridley from
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Allen Robinson.
Okay.
And at 15, I have Odell Beckham Jr. This is my top 15. I'm at the 15 right now. Juju Smith-Schuster at 14.
Okay.
13, I have Cooper Kupp. At
All right.
12, I have Courtland Sutton. I think Courtland Sutton could do very, very good
Drew
things
Lock's
this year.
gonna do good.
Yeah.
Courtland Sutton's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's gonna exactly.
He had a good year last year too with how well Drew Lock played. So
No, exactly. Appreciate the like, Pam. I see that. Appreciate that, Pam.
thanks, Pammy.
Andrew Thielen. Adam Thielen. Sorry, is number 11 for me. I think he's gonna have a good year this year again. I think that he's always gonna be the number 1 receiver in Minnesota. Now that Stephon Diggs is gone, and who is gonna replace Stephon Diggs, we don't know. But you'll see. Maybe they have a receiver, but I just think Adam Thielen, he's always been, a target master there. Usually averages about, 5 to 10 receptions a game. That's 5 points right there. So you can't go wrong with that. And then at number 10, I have A.J. Brown from Tennessee. I think he's going to have a very good year this year. I think that he's going to explode. I think that, they really have fell off of Corey Davis. And I think Corey Davis might actually have a good year because A.J. Brown has a good year. I think that A.J. Brown has worked hard this offseason, and, he wants to come in and prove that he is a good receiver in the NFL. Top team, and I think he wants to do that. All right, and you can go ahead and run through your 9 through 1.
10 through 1. I stopped at 11. 11 was my last one.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Then I did my 10. I'm at 9.
11 was Odell Beckham Jr. too, by the way, just so everyone knows.
Okay.
Number 10 for me is DJ Chark, wide receiver. Jacksonville had a very good season last year. I feel like he's going to take a step up this year. Number 9, Allen Robinson, Chicago Bears. Also had a very good year last year. Had a lot of touchdowns. Mitch Trubisky struggled, and he still had a good year. So if they put a quarterback in who's not struggling, you could see him do better. Number 8, Mike Evans. Number 7, Kenny Galladay.
Okay.
Number 6, DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Number 5, Chris Godwin. Number 4, Julio Jones. Number 3, Tyreek Hill.
Wow. Okay.
Number 2, Devontae Adams.
And I didn't even have to. I knew it. I literally knew it. I knew it.
Number 1, Mike Thomas.
I
Baby.
knew it. I didn't even have to ask you. I already knew it. I already knew it. Oh my
I know.
god. I knew it. I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't put him there, but it possibly could have. We'll see. We'll
All
see.
right, Mike, go ahead, run through it.
All right. Well, so number 9, I have Kenny Galladay.
All right.
I think he's gonna have a good year this year. I think that, like I said, Matt
I
Stafford's.
like Kenny Galladay a lot, man. I'm a big fan of Kenny Galladay.
No, like I said, Matt Stafford, touchdown master, bro. It's gonna go to him, or it's gonna go to one other person. That's Hawkinson. I think those are they're 2 touchdown guys this year. I really do think that they. I mean, maybe a couple other guys. I don't really know all the guys' names on the. I know. Or don't they have Who's the guy? I can't think of the other receiver they have, but I think he left, didn't he?
Who? Wait, I'm sorry. I was looking at a note. I'm sorry.
On the Lions.
Oh, Marvin Jones was their other receiver.
And he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And Golden Tate, and they had.
Yes. See, they're both gone. That's what I'm saying. But that's why Kenny Galladay might have a big year this year. So if you guys are looking for a receiver, Kenny Galladay might be a guy that might be on your board that you like. He's, like I said, Matt Stafford touchdown master.
I like it.
Number 8, Cooper. At number 7, Mike Evans. Chris Godwin right after that. I think they're both gonna be right there. They might. I mean, I personally think that they're both very good receivers. They complement each other very well. Julio Jones at number 5. DeAndre Hopkins at 4. Adams at 3. 2, Tyreek Hill. And obviously, number 1, Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the NFL. He's showing it year in and year out. And my man right there, the Saints fan and obviously Bills fan as well, loves his man Michael Thomas. You see it in the background right there. And I think he's probably gonna do it, show it again this year. He broke the record last year, correct?
Yep, the record is.
I'm saying, calling it right now, he's breaking it again this year.
We'll see. I think he got 147 last year.
I think he's getting 150 this year.
We'll see.
Really
All right, there it is. Wide receivers. Big strong point to everyone's fantasy football team is their wide receivers, guys. Don't forget that. And there is a large. Notice we did a top 25 of wide receivers and not 25 of everything else, because there is the plethora of wide receivers, and you can pluck wide receivers from the free agency if need be. Just always remember that. Always remember that. And the wide receiver spot on the depth chart is the definition in fantasy of next man up. Heck, you see, for example, it's a drama point from last season, but someone like Amari Cooper's standing on the sideline on the last game of the play, or last play of the game. You never know who's going to make the play. You never know what guy you pick up from fantasy or from free agency that you play might get 8 or 9 catches. Trust me. I played a lot of DraftKings last year. You learn to take gambles, and they pay off sometimes. And the wide receiver group is where you take the biggest gambles.
I agree. I 100% agree. Like I said, I like to tend to wait for receivers unless you can get a guy in
the top 5. Top, yeah.
I mean, and that's even if you really want to do that. Most people, in if you look in fantasy leagues,
out of all those wide receivers, I'm only taking Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, or Devontae Adams
in the first round.
In the first round.
There you go. And that's if you're in a 10-team league. We're talking 12-team league. Maybe there might be a couple other guys that go, and there might be somebody dumb who takes a quarterback. I personally just want to let you guys know, do not take a quarterback this year in the first round. Do not do it.
No.
Unless you're in a 12-team league and you want to start off at your 12th pick and take like Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, like that might even be still a little bit of a reach, in my opinion.
I guess we could just dive into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had my first quarterback to come up on my list. You're right. Yeah, it's not till pick 26, which would be in the end of the second round.
All right. How about this? Instead of we're going to overall, how about me and you run through the first round? You go first pick. I'll go second, and then you tell me. I'll be the first pick. I'll be the first pick because I know you probably don't want to do it, but I'll be the first pick. All right.
That's fine. Go ahead. So what we're just gonna do? Let's just say 2 rounds.
10 picks. 2 rounds. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yep. Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have the first pick, and for Mike on the first pick. If I was in the first pick, guys, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't know what I mean. Guys, don't sit here and think about it. Take Christian McCaffrey. It's a no-brainer. Like, you take Christian
No-brainer.
McCaffrey. You don't think about taking
No-brainer.
Barkley. You don't think about taking Tom. Like, no.
Nope.
You take Christian McCaffrey. Don't even think about it.
And if you don't take McCaffrey, I don't know what you were thinking because there's just look at his stats, guys. I mean, come on. McCaffrey is number one. If you're not taking McCaffrey number one, I'll just say it, Mike. I don't care. Put me on the tape. You're not doing it right if you don't take McCaffrey number one.
All right,
Put me on the tape.
Brian said it there. Brian said it. All right, so Brian, if you were the second pick and it was your team and you had second pick, McCaffrey's gone, what are you doing?
I am taking Ezekiel Elliott with the second pick.
Okay, so that throws me off a little bit because that's someone like I would have been sitting there expecting to take Ezekiel Elliott with my third pick because that would be the guy that I would be thinking there. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw Brian a little loop here, and I'm gonna take Michael Thomas at the third pick. I think we'll throw him a little loop there. I think that
Okay.
I'm gonna see what happens. I mean, I know Barkley is available on the board, but maybe
So just so you guys know, running back, wide receiver is how it just went.
So the only reason I did that is because I personally don't I like Barkley, but I've had some fair things where I tend to see where Barkley got hurt last year and that didn't like it. So to me, I'm gonna skip him and I'm gonna take Thomas. I think it's still a good pick. Like I said, Thomas should go in the first round, and I think he'll go in the top 5.
Okay.
I took him third because Brian did that, and I was gonna take Elliott. He took my pick, so now Brian's probably gonna take. Let's see what Brian does.
And being smart, rolling in at the fourth pick, looking at who would be available from this draft, it's just dumb not to take Saquon Barkley at this point. So with the fourth pick, Saquon Barkley would be my choice here.
Okay, see, there you go.
And this, just so everyone knows, this first 4 picks, this is what I call tier 1. These 4 guys, these are the guaranteed first 4 guys to go off the board. That's what I call the top tier. I mean, what? Do you agree, Mike? Was that your most likely top 4 guys to come off the board first in any particular order?
100%. And now think of this. I see now. Me personally, I would think about maybe taking a receiver here, but now you look at the running backs. You look at who's available. You have a lot of running backs available. I personally am gonna go with Kamara. I like Kamara better than Henry here. I think Henry is ranked up a little higher for me, but I think Kamara is a good picker, so I'm gonna go Kamara at 5.
Okay. And also, like you, I'm gonna throw a little bit of curveball because again, we're talking about volume and what he means as far as the position. And since we've seen 1, 2, 3, now 4 running backs go in the first 5 picks, I'm gonna go ahead and take Devontae Adams with the 6th pick.
Okay, so you're gonna go right receiver. You're gonna take Adams.
Yep.
Okay.
So now 4 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
So we're showing you guys a little bit different what might happen, and this is what happened. Guys are thinking like, oh, I could still get the top receiver. So Brian did it, and people will do that. People will do that in the draft. It will happen. It will throw you off a little bit. So that's where it's going to throw me off. So now here I'm sitting at 7. I'm thinking, wow, Adams is gone. Tyreek Hill is possibly there, but no. What I'm gonna do, and I am gonna do it. I'm gonna take Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna swing him right off the board. Hill's gone. Boom.
Okay.
Back-to-back receivers, because I just feel like that's what that person might do at that pick, and I think that is a great pick there. I think Tyreek Hill should have went above Adam. I think he should have picked. I personally think Brian should have took Hill over Adams, but Brian took Adams because maybe he likes Adams a little bit better quarterback. So I agree. I like it's not a bad pick.
Okay.
All right, so at 8, Brian, what would you do there now that there's 3 running backs and 3 receivers gone?
4 running backs and 3 receivers gone. That's
yes,
7.
Yes. Yep. My bad.
So at pick 8, I also think, I mean, they're not no-brainers, but this would be you're picking later in the first round. Of course, a snake-style draft, so you got to think in your head, you got another pick coming up. Not as long as you just waited for your last pick. You're not waiting 8 picks for your next pick, just like you waited this one. You're waiting, say, 4 if it's a 12 team or 6. So here I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook to take another top tier running back off the board. Dalvin Cook at 8.
All right, then I would go right away because I already know Henry.
Henry at 9. See, now you're going to see after the maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe if someone, like I said, that oddball and there's 2 wide receivers and a quarterback taken, the run on the running backs at the end of the first round is going to be bananas. People are going to grab every running back with a name that they can at the end of the first round and the beginning of the second round, because then they'll start to fill after that. That's just hypothetically a strategy I have thought of, being late in the first round. So I just know other people sometimes think that way too, because running backs, like we talked about before, there's not the surplus of running backs like there is wide receivers. So you got to think with this 8th pick, you're picking at 8, and then you're picking again at 14. So in 6 picks, and then you'll wait 8. So in between those 2 picks that are close together, you have an 8-pick gap. So
And now Brian is at a good spot here. Not to cut you off, Brian is at a good spot. He's at 10 and 11. Now he could go back to back. This is a very good spot in the draft. You want to be 10. I think 10 is a very good spot in a 10-team league because you have an opportunity to start off the next round with the position that you picked and to make people try to pick it. You got to think. You have to think in a draft strategy to try to confuse people and maybe throw a loop ball out there so that makes them, pick guys that maybe you. And then next year when you're up there, there's the guy that you want and is available, and you can do that in drafts. It's happened. I've done it. People just they see it, somebody getting taken. They're like, oh, I need a receiver so bad, and they take one.
Yep.
So okay, Brian, what are you gonna do here? What are you doing at this 10 and 11?
You still have to do number 9. Pick number 8.
I did pick number 9. I said Henry.
Oh, okay, 9. Okay, it was Henry. All right, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. At number 10, again, he almost falls into that top 3 tier wide receiver. So I'm gonna say someone would probably go with DeAndre Hopkins here at number 10.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna throw the curveball, the sought out strategy sometimes that you may see. I picked DeAndre Hopkins at 10. I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray at number 11. So I have a quarterback wide receiver duo.
Wow, that would be a huge mix-up, guys. If he appreciate the like, Pam, on the stream. Appreciate it, Pam. Again, I don't know why it just popped up now, but appreciate that. So you're taking Kyler Murray. Anybody that doesn't hit that like button. Go ahead, hit it. Okay. And Kyler Murray, that's okay. That throws me off a little bit. I mean, I was not expecting that. So now me at 12. I'm thinking, wow, okay, I was 12. I got Elliott. No. At 12, who's my 12? I have Henry. I mean, I know there's receivers available that I might want to take, so I'm gonna go Julio Jones. I think Julio Jones would be going here. I'm gonna take Julio Jones.
I like it. Okay. With the 13th pick, this would now be the person who just drafted Cook. So I like to believe he's going back to back. He's filling up his running backs. So I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs, Las Vegas Raiders running back here.
Okay. And then Jacobs goes there, and then I see that he has this guy at 7. He took Tyreek Hill. He needs a running back, and I see a running back available there. Nick Chubb. How can you not go with Nick Chubb there? That's actually a great pick there, and I feel like he got his receiver he wanted, and he still gets a top tier running back. A top tier running back there. You got to remember that, guys.
What pick are we on now?
This would be pick 15.
15. 15.
You have Adams, and then you have Adams here. You took Adams with this pick, with your guy in this one. So what are you gonna...
This person can't go too. They're thinking in their head they can't go too long without a running back. They're gonna be waiting a lot of picks for a running back. Who did you take your last pick?
Josh Jacobs. Or no, Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. I'm gonna go Aaron Jones.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
No. Actually, no. Not Aaron Jones, because Devontae Adams would have been the pick. No. He would have looked at Aaron Jones and said, I have Devontae Adams.
Adams.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Yes.
picking
Yes.
Aaron Jones.
Exactly. I was
Let
gonna
me
say.
rethink that. I'm sorry. Once you reminded me that he picked Devontae Adams with his last pick, he's throwing a curveball in here. He's taking Kenyon Drake, the running back from Arizona.
See, but I like that. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I think that's a good pick, and I think he should be in the top 20. It's a great pick. I like that pick. I do like that pick a lot. And I'm looking here. I'm saying this guy's got Kamara. He's saying, oh, I could maybe scoop up a receiver here, but nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna scoop up the best tight end in the draft, and I'm gonna take Travis Kelce right here.
I like that. I like that pick.
I think that the guy would want to be one of. He gets best tight end. He gets one of the top running backs. He gets, he's there. And like I said, receivers, he needs them, but he can, fill up his receivers and running backs later. There are some other running backs that you can get down later in the board that are a little less valued and are still going to produce the points that you need.
Yep. So 17, I'm the guy thinking in the group. There's only 3 good tight ends. I'm taking George Kittle right here, right after Travis Kelce.
Okay, see that's where the tight ends fall off a little bit. You don't see that once those 2 guys go there, you're like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
And you can find that guy in the draft who will look to leave everyone else with that position hang off, because a position like tight end, like we talked about, does not have the surplus. And if the person in front of you pulls the trigger, you may see the next guy in line, how shall I call it, begin the drought of the tight ends.
Okay, so after this, I see that number 3, he took a receiver. He probably doesn't want to go tight end. He thinks he needs a running back here, so he goes running back. He takes Joe Mixon. Great pick there. I think he's available. I think he would take Joe Mixon.
I like it. So this guy with his last 2 picks that were back-to-back, he took DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. So here...
No, you're Elliott, buddy.
Oh, this is the guy for Elliott?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got running back. Has Mike Evans been taken yet?
No, sir.
He's going to take Mike Evans right here.
Evans, okay. Evans over Godwin?
Yeah, Evans over Godwin.
Okay. And then this guy's got McCaffrey. He's looking in here. He's like, ooh, I can make a splash here. I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
And then right there, 21, Patrick Mahomes goes. I'm telling you guys, watch for it. Watch for runs on quarterbacks and tight ends. As soon as you see one, the rest are coming.
They're gonna go. It happens every time. I know we
The
say
floodgate opens. I've done like 6-7 fantasy drafts a year. It happens every draft. As soon as
me and Brian could sit here and talk about quarterbacks aren't gonna go early. It's gonna happen. Somebody is going to pull the trigger and take Patrick.
And then 3 quarterbacks are going to go. And then they're not going to be picked again for 20 picks.
So you got to hope that you're either the guy to pull the trigger or you're there. Hold off. Or you're there when the guy that takes the trigger, you're right after him, so you can maybe take that guy that you wanted.
So you're not falling too far behind.
So yeah, it's hard to get ahead of the curve there. But like there's a little example. We did the first 2 rounds. There's a little big example. What happened in a fantasy draft. I think that should probably wrap it up for tonight. I think that was what we were gonna try to do. I mean, we okay, guys. Just a few things before we do get off. I know if you guys do watch all the way through, the people are still here. We are gonna post on our Facebook or somewhere everything we have, and that we are doing the fantasy league. We're gonna put it on our Twitter. It's gonna be on our Instagram. It's going to be on all that. We're going to put it on there. And the first 8 people to join the fantasy league will be in the league with me and Brian. It's going to be a free league. One other thing about that. If me and Brian do not win the league, and it is one of you guys, we will be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card to the winner. Okay? But it's got to be not me or Brian. So if it's one of you guys, whoever wins it will be getting a $25 Amazon gift card.
I like it.
Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm gonna put the link on the thing after here, so you guys can join it. It will be up in the matter of a little bit. We appreciate you guys, coming out here. We're gonna play that little intro for you guys, just so you guys can get a little. We're trying to get the outro, guys. Don't worry. But this is gonna be our outro for now. I know it says "Welcome to the Mike and Brian Show." I just want to give you guys a little outro, a little music to get out here. But we're gonna put that on. We appreciate you guys stopping by. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next Saturday. Hopefully,
Peace, guys.
Hopefully next Saturday is the draft. That's what we're trying to fill it up. So if you guys can fill it up for us, so we can plan that for next week, and we'll keep you posted on it. Brian, you have anything to say to the viewers and everything, buddy?
Just everyone stay safe, continue to social distance, and hope we can see y'all next week.
All right, guys, we're gonna give you out the little outro here. We'll just put that on for you real quick. You guys have a good one. Okay, stay safe.
And here we go, here we go.
All right.
This is the Mike and Brian Show. Heard every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's sports, we're throwing it down. And did we mention we happen to like the Buffalo Bills just a little bit? If it's happening in Buffalo sports, we're talking about it. This is the Mike and Brian Show. And here's Mike and Brian.